Julia here today again. And today we're going to be doing the second part of our mini TOK series. Today we're going to discuss the TOK presentation and what it actually involves. So to start off, if you didn't know, the TOK presentation is one of two compulsory assignments which you have to do to get a mark in TOK. And the presentation is all about testing your knowledge of TOK concepts in relation to a real-life scenario. That real-life scenario can be taken from your local community or your global one at hand. And then once you've drawn up this real-life scenario or come up with it, you have to develop a knowledge question, which you then work through in your presentation. So today's video is going to be all about how to actually create an effective TOK presentation. My first tip in relation to the TOK presentation is actually simplifying your real-life scenario. As I mentioned, the presentation is all built on this real-life scenario. And in my mind, why make it more complicated than it is? So when I was planning for my TOK presentation with my two friends, which I was doing it with, we had one mutual IB subject, and that was psychology. So we started discussing what we'd gone through in class, and one of the key things that struck out at us was actually how men and women perceive beauty in different ways. And from that study, which we'd gone over in psychology, we actually developed our knowledge claim and our question at whole. So my TOK question was in large part based on something I'd already started talking about in psychology class. Actually, how does society measure beauty, and what kind of consequences does that have on the individual? My second tip, just like with any TOK assignment, a key aspect of the presentation is actually understanding the TOK terminology and what the assignment is asking of you. If you at this point are still feeling a little confused to what the ways of knowing are or what the areas of knowing are, I really suggest that you brush up on that lingo. Why? Because how the IB has structured the mark scheme for the TOK presentation is built on you fundamentally understanding that lingo and how you should be using those different terms in your presentation. If you're feeling unsure about what different things in TOK mean, I really suggest that you check out this blog post I wrote last year about what knowledge claims are, what are knowledge questions, how do we actually create them, so you have that solid backbone for your presentation. My third piece of advice is quite simple but very effective, and that is to spend a lot of time on your TOK presentation planning document, the PPD. The PPD is really useful because it's actually the only evidence the IB gets that you've completed your presentation. That's the only thing that's externally marked. That means that you want to give in a really effective and clear PPD. So actually don't brush over it. Actually go through the TOK mark scheme and see exactly what the IB wants you to do. See that they want you to describe your real life situation and how you've drawn your knowledge claim from that. Actually comparing the different perspectives which you're going to be bringing into your presentation and what your fundamental conclusion is. Try to compress all this. I know it's hard, but actually spending time compressing all of this will mean that the external examiner will know exactly what the focus of your presentation was, and you can probably get a really high grade. My fourth tip with regards to the TOK presentation is actually reflecting on your presentation style. Now, this might seem like a really easy one, but how you actually get your message across really depends on if you've practiced your presentation and whether you're giving people kind of an easy way to understand what you're saying. My best presentation trick is actually before I actually practice, I tend to stand in my room and look at myself in the mirror as I'm saying what I want to say. Going through it a couple times before I ask for any feedback from others. That way you can be really sure as to what's coming up next in your presentation, how you want to move between your different slides, and whether slides overall are affecting kind of your presentation style or whether they're aiding your presentation. I'm going to link a really cool blog post down here which tells you how to actually develop your own presentation style. Because we're all different and we all present in different ways. None of them are better than others. They're all just different. Hey guys, that was all for me this time. So those are my 4 best TOK presentation tips. But look out for part 3 of this TOK mini-series, which will be coming your way soon. In the meantime, if you have more TOK questions, I would suggest that you head over to the Lantern blog where we have lots more resources. But also an effective thing if you're looking for some extra support is maybe doing some TOK online private tuition with an elite IB tutor. Not only can they help you work on your presentation or essay as a whole, they can also help you plan, structure, and kind of maybe edit even the content of some of what you're doing. So I really suggest you check that out. But otherwise, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!